of the month, the book of Jonah. And yeah, it's a book we really do not know who the author is because it's not explicit, but most people say it's Jonah. So it talks about God's concern for his people and how in some cases we feel like we're entitled to dispense his compassion or to be custodians of his compassion, as we will see in the book. So it is one that is also prone to over-familiarity because we are so used to the story, we miss out on the treasures that are in it. Chapter 1 talks about the results of disobedience. God sent the prophet Jonah to Nineveh, but he decided to go to Tarshish. He boarded a ship from Joppa, went to Tarshish, ran away from God. He was instructed to go to Nineveh to correct the children of Nineveh who had been enemies of Israel, and he wanted them to suffer, right? He wanted them to pay for their sins, and that was why he ran away. By doing that, he put the other travelers at risk because he disobeyed God. God sent a storm to shake things up and remind him that he could run, but he couldn't hide. He ended up in the belly of a fish for 3 days, and that was where, in chapter 2, we saw him running back to God, asking for forgiveness, pleading, and yielding to the instruction of God, deciding to, take up the instruction that had been given to him. And he spent 3 days and 3 nights, as we are familiar with the story. And this in itself reminds us of the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. So it was more like a foretelling of what will happen to Jesus Christ. And in chapter 3, we saw him now going back to Nineveh to carry out the assignment that had been given to him. And the people of Nineveh repented of their sins. Verse 10 tells us that, and God saw their works, that they turned from their evil way, and God repented of the evil. Another translation says he changed his mind that he had said he would do to them, and he did not. So he did not consume them. And this salvation is an indication of the grace that we all enjoy. This salvation is made available to every one of us, and we should take advantage of it. Chapter 4, we see the prophet, being angry with God. He was angry, he was not happy that the people of Nineveh repented of their sins. And the book ends with a question that is also still relevant to us today. Are we willing to have mercy on those who have sinned against us and pray for them, since we have also received the mercy of God? Like I said, Jonah was angry. Why was he angry? Was it justified? Can he question God? Can we question God? Can we have a heart-to-heart conversation with God? These are some of the questions you'll find in chapter 4. I will not go into the details. I want you to go and read more. Thank you.